friends, welcome. If you and I have not met, my name is Emma with Heartfelt Creations. Today I'm here to share a beautiful stamping technique that really kind of gives you that watercolor effect that I think you'll really love. So this technique is great to create those vibrant springtime cards. So we will have some fun. The card I'm making today will have a slight variation from these color tones. So this is something that is a beautiful way to kind of have that watercolor effect. We're going to use multiple inks or inks colors to create this tone. So the image I'm using today comes from our Spring Garden collection. This collection comes with a beautiful just beautiful images that I absolutely love. The main image that we're going to be using today comes from the Fragrant Hyacinths stamp and die set. Now this set, you can make those beautiful super dimensional hyacinths. So you can do something really clean and simple like I'm going to show you today, or you can use these dimensional flowers that come right with the set and really take it to the next level. So lots of different options today on how you can recreate this hyacinth to get the look that you're wanting based on who you're going to give this to. So if you're just joining me, let me know where you're watching from. Are you having fun today? It's always such a great event when Scrapbook Expo pulls us all together in one place to learn new crafting tips and techniques. So we're going to use the large hyacinths. There's also a smaller one. So if you're doing like the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch cards, you can also use this one and do something extremely beautiful with that as well. So to get started, we use 4 of this in total to make this 5 by 7 card. And like I said, I'm using a little bit of a different color tone today than was used on this card, but we're going to start out by having this stamp side up, and I'm going to ink my leaf green on the bottom first. Before I do that, I just want to pull out my water mister because we are also going to use that. I forgot to get that originally, so here we go. I think we're all set, ready to roll. So just make sure that you have a good ink coverage. I am not super scared about only getting the leaf. I just want to make sure that I don't have any gaps in my ink, so if a little bit comes on the flower on the bottom, that is okay. We're going to start with 3 colors for the flower, and I'm starting out with the Majestic Violet on the bottom. So you can always kind of tip the stamp up if you can't exactly see where the edges are, if you are a little bit more like, oh, I don't want that to overlap. But I have to say, if you overlap the ink colors a little bit, it gives it a little bit more of a forgiving look. It kind of blends it together a little bit more and makes that super easy for you. So the next color I'm going in with is the Cactus Floral Flower. So if you love purples, kind of variations into pink, this is a beautiful color combination to do that. And this stamp just showcases it beautifully, and that's why I chose these colors today. So hopefully you love it just as much as I do. Let me know what you're loving about this. So this is the Vibrant Fuchsia that I'm getting ready to use next, and I'm really making sure that I overlap with the cactus flower that I just applied. So that is how you get that inking. Now before I move to the final step before we stamp, I did want to tell you that I did on these 2, which are going to be more my background flowers, I did just use the Vibrant Fuchsia when this was after I had stamped 2 of these. So just a note, if you're wanting to kind of create more of a focal flower and then more of a background flower, you could do that too. Now, before we stamp this, to create more of a watercolor effect, I'm going to use my water mister, and we're going to spray a little bit of water on top to kind of create a little bit of splotchiness on the stamped pattern, okay? Each time it comes out a little bit different. It reminds me of dyeing those t-shirts, right? So it's kind of like that effect. So it's really fun. It's kind of exciting because each time you really don't know exactly how it's going to turn out, how it's going to look. So see how that kind of gives you a little bit of that blotted look? So it gives you a little bit of that texture, a little bit of coloring. You don't have to do much coloring. My next step would be just to line this die right up on top and die cut that out. So I have some die cut images here already, but I wanted to show you a little bit how you can go back in and color. You could kind of follow the same colors you used to stamp it with, or if you want to just use the lightest pink, you could just go in and just use the lightest pink. I like to kind of tap off and see how much color I have on my sponge, but just give a little bit of light coloring just in some areas to just add a hint of that color in there. So you really don't have to do much to make it look super beautiful very quickly. So that's a fun way. You can go back, color the leaves. These daubers, if you have never used them, they're designed so they're not a circle, which means you have more of those pointed tips to go in and do some shading if you're the girl that loves to do shading. So you can really kind of like start off on that tip, blend up, and color those leaves in very beautifully with getting that shading and following kind of the design of the leaf while still getting beautiful color with that. So that is something you could do with that. Die cut them out. And I like to do 4 with this specific card. I have a total of 5 cut out. So that allows us to have a little bit of flexibility on how we design these. So our next step before we glue anything down is going to be to ink the stamp the sentiment. If you don't have any sentiments and you love this one, let us know. We have some beautiful basic sentiments sets. Speaking of stamps, as a thank you for watching and participating today, you qualify for a free stamp with a $100 purchase, and that expires on March 31st. All you have to do is just go to the website, add your items to the cart and a stamp that you love. Make sure your total is over $100 and check out, and you will get that free stamp automatically will apply, and you can choose which one you want. So just make sure it's in your cart so that you receive that. Expires March 31st. Just a heads up, if you're in the US, you also automatically get free shipping when your order is $100, which is awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and stamp the sentiment on the top left-hand corner. So this will allow you to have that sentiment directly to the cardstock. So like I said, this is more of a watercolor, just a fun, fast technique. Or you can take this very same stamp and get a completely different look by using the individual flowers. So you stamp this one, die cut it out, and we have the shaping mold that shapes all those flowers for you. So all you have to do is just glue it on top. So it's really super simple, fast, and easy, which I absolutely love, right? So to get this sentiment stamp, I think I'm gonna go with the cactus flower, which is kind of the middle color of the hyacinth image that I was inking with. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to stamp that. Sometimes I like to stamp it before I have all my items glued down, but I just glued my background panels down just to kind of prep for this video. This card size is 5 by 7, so see how beautifully that's stamped. If you don't trust yourself with getting things straight, it's okay. You could always have that just off to this top piece off to the side so you can practice stamping on it before you just commit after it's glued down. So we're going to go ahead and position these 2 flowers down first, and these were glued directly to the card. So we're going to go ahead and get this little guy, put this hyacinth. We're going to plant flowers today. How does that sound, right? Where we're from, we're in Indiana, so hopefully our flower planting season is right around the corner. But here in our area, daffodils and hyacinths are some of our very first spring flowers that pop up, which is always such an exciting time because it's like, yay! We know that spring is right around the corner. Is that how it is for you too, or where are you from? So let me know what you're learning, what you're loving about this. I always love to hear from you as well. So this one we're going to position on the bottom, so I'm measuring it from more like this point to pretty much, I hope you can see this, to this side over here. So we're going to go ahead and just, whoopsie. Actually, you know what? This one, I think I planned it a little bit differently. Let's grab this one. Yeah, we're going to put this one over here. Okay. Recomputing, I had some foam dots. The ones with foam dots were designated for a different area, right? I typically do foam dots on my projects before I go live just to save some time. So here we go. I'm going to put this one in here. And then we're going to place, I have 2 levels of foam dots. One's a little bit thicker. That's the one that's going to be in the center. But then I have one that's a little bit thinner, which is this one. We're going to put that one off to the side. Now, this one, you are going to have the leaves, since you're placing it lower. They're going to, in the beginning, go off the card a little bit. So we're just going to trim that at the end then, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to place this a little bit more to our right. So we'll place it pretty much somewhere
You know what? Let's put it just so it's on the card, not off the card, so we can put it in an envelope. Okay, there we go. And then this one is ready to be the hero in the center of the card. How pretty is that? So we're going to go ahead and just remove those foam pieces from the back. So let me know how you like this, what you are learning. So this comes from our Hyacinth stamp set, just debuted in March, so it is one of our newer ones. So if you've been on the website, actually, speaking of the website, if you are completely new, you've never been to our website, you can shop with us at heartfeltcreations.us. We also have a weekly blog that goes up with inspiration, just like the one you're seeing today. So you're always inspired with fresh, new ideas on what you can do that really helps jumpstart your creativity when you're feeling a little lost on what to do next, right? So we're going to go ahead and put that down. Now, since we have some of these leaves going down the bottom, we're just going to bring this off to the side. We're just going to do what I call the eyeballing technique. Just clip that off. I'm going to come in from the other side so I have a little bit better grip on my scissors. We'll just cut this off. Oops. You know what? I was measuring with a white line here, so we're just going to go ahead and do this one with a white line as well. So they are evenly planted. We'll do the same with this one. There we go. So we've got all of those planted very quickly and beautifully. And you know, if you're like, hey, I really love these background ones, but I want to add some dimension, you could always, for this one, you could add all those little flowers on top and add some beautiful dimension to it. Like I said, there are two sizes in this set, so that you've got a big one and a small one, so you can really do some fun things with that as well. I have a card here. Actually, I have, let's see here. I have two. This one is really beautiful with the big one, and then the small one in more of a solid color. Here's the same one, just no dimensional flowers on top. So lots of beautiful ways that you can create with that using those tips and techniques. Here's one with the little one paired with our daffodil. It's not the traditional daffodil shape, but it's just a beautiful way to really get some dimension. You can put it in a little clear box. You can hand give it. You can ship it for more of a statement piece. So you get to choose whether you want something super dimensional or if you want to keep it a little bit more of a watercolor, quick, simple card. So you have lots of versatility and options with that. One thing I wanted to share with you is if you take, let me grab, do you like glitter? We could do a little bit of a glittering technique with this as well. So with this one, you can go back. I have some glitter on this one, but since this one's cut out, no, we can do it on this one. I would typically wait until it's die cut out, but you can also do it now. If you have time for it to dry, you can do it right away, but I typically do my glittering one of the last times. So I put some Dry's Clear Glue on my sponge, and I'm going to sponge off a little bit on the side just so that I don't have too much glue, but I just want little blotches of glue over my flower and my leaves, and then I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle a baby's breath pink glitter over the top, right? So that is a really nice way to just add some glitter and some sparkle very quickly, right? So you've got the watercolor effect, you've got the glitter, and you're ready to, you know, die cut that out, add it to your card. If you wanted to take it to the next level, you can always also go back and you can add little dots of glue just in these flower centers. And you can go ahead and add what I call prills. That is an element that we carry lots of different colors, but what's nice about it is the little beads have lots of different sizes, so when you're putting it in a flower center, it forms a nice round little flower center, so it's not like they're all the same size. So go ahead and tap those off so you have those little flower centers in there very quickly and easily. So that's an option as well if you wanted to do that. So those are just some quick and easy tips on how you can use the hyacinths very beautifully. So that one comes with the watercolor effect, 2 different tones, lots of different ways you can stamp, color that. So that one again comes from the Fragrant Hyacinth Stamp and Die Set. And then there's the shaping mold that goes with that so you don't have to hand shape it. Makes it super quick and easy to shape all those little flowers at one time. There's like there's 20 flowers you can shape at once. So that is magical. Love that. So once again, as a special thank you, you can go to the website, place your $100 order, and you get a free stamp set of your choice with a purchase of the $100. Expires March 31st, so make sure you take advantage of that. And when you spend $100 with us in the US, that is free shipping. Here's another one with the 3 little hyacinths paired together, different color combinations. Isn't that just stunning? Now another flower, if you love those spring flowers and you're just like, oh my goodness, I love everything spring. Daffodils are something that are super beautiful too. If you head on over to heartfeltcreations.us, you'll see the daffodil shaped in many different ways. It is a super beautiful flower. You can do something super dimensional with it, but keep in mind, like I said, we love versatility. So you'll see many other flower styles in the way that we shape the daffodil, and that comes from our let me see, that one is called the spring daffodil. And that one has different sizes, and because it's a 2-part flower, you have different components that you can layer together to get a completely different flower. So it really adds to that versatility, which we all love, right? So with that, I hope that inspires you to recreate your own one-of-a-kind spring cards, and also try having some fun with those watercoloring tips and techniques. And you can also add the dimension. So lots of ways that you can keep it simple or just take some time to create and make something super beautiful. Thank you so much for watching and joining me today. Head on over to the website at heartfeltcreations.us. And when you place that order of $100, you'll get a free stamp set, your choice. Just add it to the cart, no coupon code needed. That expires on March 31st. And when you place that $100 order, you also qualify for free shipping in the US. With that, have an amazing rest of your day. Happy creating. We'll see you next time. Bye.